it's still September 23rd. I've just been reflecting. Again on this past year. And the tingling sensation that I still feel, and more so when certain songs come up. And even reflecting on that video that posted earlier this week, a couple days ago, where I'm reflecting on that conversation that we had. And there was a follow-up that I remember I picked up on it, and I remember wanting to talk about it with him after. But, I was still struggling with my communication, because I was still struggling with my own communication issues with intimate connections almost. And I went from being the one that spoke primarily in the connection with my ex. I did a lot of the talking, and people would notice it. I would do the talking, and it felt like I had to probe to get stuff out of him, unless it was something that he was interested in, and then he would just talk, or if he had a thought. But honestly, it was me more blabbing. And then the other connections that I had, where there was more of a mutual connection, but then when it came to something vulnerable, I would shut down. It was really hard for me to get the words. I would write it out. I would write out letters. Even with my ex, when it was something really vulnerable, I would have to write out letters and read it out loud. Because I just emotionally, it was hard for me to just naturally have it come out. And I would write. I mean, in the beginning, I wouldn't write. I would just shut down or run away. I remember running away once. And when I was having my first depressive episode, there was so much desperation. And I ran away. Like a little kid. I literally ran away. I had nothing with me. I don't remember if I don't think I took anything with me. I got in my car and I just drove. And I don't remember, well, clearly I had my purse, and I wasn't picking up my phone. I remember my partner was freaking out, and he was just like, where are you? Why aren't you answering the phone? Where did you go? Because he had left me at home. And I was already in emotional distress, I think. Yeah, there was an emotional distress. I had reached a point where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And there was this big event. I used to be part of this organization where you sell stuff, and I remember that was so uncomfortable, but I appreciate the experience because it pushed me to do more public speaking, and it also pushed my partner, and we talked about it afterwards. And even though we struggled, it really pushed us out of our comfort zone. But it was an event. We had to meet a certain quota. I didn't meet the quota, and I was already working crazy hours. I was coming home late. And I was just done. Someone said something and it made me feel like because of me, because of us, this other person wasn't going to be able to reach their goal. Putting the blame on us, really. And it wasn't intentional. And then, of course, I was struggling with stuff, so it just made it worse, and I shut down. And I didn't go to that last event. And my ex went to represent us, and I was just done. I remember just being done, and I remember that was the moment that I longed to die. Because I was just I felt like I was drowning. It's the worst feeling in the world. And even more so, when you're laying in bed and you're wanting to get up. You're wanting to get up, and your body just feels so heavy that you feel like the bed is just swallowing you whole. That's another incredibly uncomfortable feeling. And I remember that anger that I felt. And I was projecting that anger towards him, my ex. He was just trying to help me. And I just remember acknowledging within myself, like being, like there was almost like this detachment where I saw myself angry. And that realization of like, Yui, this is not like you. This is not like you. I couldn't even do the activities that I love to do. Like I was just so angry. But I couldn't speak. Like that wasn't like it was hard for me to speak. So I ran away. It was for the night. I think it was a night. Maybe two. I think it was just one night. And I came back. And I don't remember what happened when we came back. All I remember is that he was worried. And he said he was following me by checking the credit card charges. Because I usually didn't carry cash. I don't remember carrying cash often. And so he's like, I would check the credit card deductions. He's like, and that's how I kind of knew where you were at. He was really worried. But I did, there was just, that's all you could do. Like, or all that I felt I could do. So I would run away. Then I would bottle it up. And then every few years I would emotionally and then it got to the point where I just I tried coping. I started running. I remember that. I started running. And that felt good. That's how I started running. Because it gave me the sensation that I was running away from my problems. Like I didn't have to deal with it for a while and I could just run. And I had to put the music on blast because I couldn't. My thoughts were just so strong and powerful that I had to try to tune it out. I remember that. And then I was introduced to weightlifting. That was incredible. The exertion, the push, that was like very delicious. That was very delicious. I really enjoyed that, weightlifting. But so I that was how I coped, right? It didn't solve the problem. It was just cover it up until I would. So anyways, so I was not a good communicator at all. Even when I was vulnerable. So that conversation, I remember after it, I wanted to make it better. Because I remember how I felt when his energy was pulled it away. And I remember being aware of it, but I was so in it. So I recorded myself because I had just started. No, I had been like almost 2 months that I had started recording myself, and I liked that. It helped to vent. It helped me to vent. So I did that. I recorded myself. I recently came across it too. In my phone, I recently came across it. And I remember trying to send it to him through WhatsApp. I remember trying to send it to him. But for whatever reason, it didn't go through. It didn't go through. There's a reason why it didn't go through. And it didn't go through. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, had it gone through, I wonder if he would have been open to it, to that, to me confronting him in that not too long after, not a whole freaking year after, right? But what would have happened? What would have happened? Would we have gotten stuck in another cycle? Because I feel like this is what that is. This is me doing something different. Or at least feeling different towards the situation, towards the connection. But I came across it the other day. And I remember thinking, I'm like, why did I do this? And then the conversation, I remember. I was like, whoa. And even, I looked at myself, I was like, damn, I was flaca. Because during that time, I lost a lot of weight. Like an incredible amount of weight. Because of just the emotional purging that I was doing. And I mean, I was trying to eat, but I couldn't. I wasn't sleeping well. Like, it really mimicked the symptoms of depression. It really did. Yeah. It's so interesting. And there was this other video that I saw. I happened to come across it. And it was the morning after he and I spoke on the phone for the first time. I remember that. And that morning, that following morning, I say something about that it's back, that the energy is back. But it was him. It was him. And I remember that morning I meditated and the light was back, and I remember feeling so relieved that it came back. And that's how I knew I was blocked. But maybe that was him. And I remember talking about being I remember that video. I'm talking about, like, the songs aren't gonna talk for him. The songs aren't gonna talk for him. But it wasn't him that I was referring to. There was someone else that I thought. Was my twin flame. Because there were so many similarities. I remember thinking, there's so many similarities. But it wasn't. It was him. That's so funny. That's so funny. When you reflect back and you see all the puzzle pieces. And just how they fit. And I still think everything turned out perfectly. Exactly as it needed to. Exactly as it needed to. With everyone that crossed my path. Everything unfolded exactly as it needed to. Isn't that crazy? So anyways, that was the memory. And then I realized, I was just like, I tried to address it. I remember now. I tried to address it, and I recorded myself, right, trying to address it. But I remember he didn't like that. He didn't like that I recorded myself. He wanted to talk, which is ironic, right? And I think it was just, but then after that, it's just, he got so busy with work. And I felt like I was just one more thing on his plate. And I didn't want to feel, I didn't like that feeling. So it was another reason why I walked away. Because the situation was unbalanced. And no fault of his own, really. It's just, he had a lot going on, that's all. But I took it personal. It was my value, right? My worth that I was putting on other people to validate. Well, just reflecting on that. Those memories really, they're being triggered as I'm, reflecting on the videos that I'm posting, and the fact that it's already a year, September. All this was going down last September. I think I started recording in October and then posted at the end of October. Wow. It's crazy. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me. So